that's Marlon. Hey, we headed over here, a little job this morning. The guys come in this morning, White and West and Preston. They've already come in. They've already headed to the job. They're a little bit ahead of me. I got to go look at a little project on the way, and trying to clean up a freeze. Had some more ice damage work here that we were doing from 2 weeks ago. We had that freezing rain, but I just thought I'd tell you, they the story that kind of keeps coming back in my mind. Back when I was doing some grading for that big landscape company there where I used to work, there was a fella there, a young man that worked there with me. Super nice guy, big old fella. I mean, he was a monster of a man for a young man. He was strong, and look at him. He kind of reminded you of that character Shrek on the Shrek movies, you know. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. He was just a man. He wore his head was shaved and short haircut. Big old guy up top. Just a mountain of a man. And that fella come to work there at that company, and we was on the job one day, and I didn't actually see it, but I talked to some guys that witnessed it, that they was unloading some 28-inch root balls off a truck, a flatbed truck, and they had a dingo, one of those old dingoes, and this was the old dingoes, the green ones that come over on the boat from Australia. I think they're the original dingoes before Toro bought them out. And they were struggling picking these things up. Now these things pick up, I don't know, 400 or 500 pounds, but for some reason this crew was having a hard time getting them trees off the truck. Well, this young man, he was the delivery guy for this company back when I worked there. And the foreman there was trying to get these trees off the truck and get them placed, and then this guy, he had another delivery or two. It was on the truck that needed to go to some other places, and he was trying to make his rounds. But anyway, where I'm going with this, I'm kind of telling you this story to get to another one, but he kind of got impatient there. They had two guys standing on the back of that thing, and the dingo, I guess, was in the wrong position to get the trees off and kept rearing up, and they couldn't get them off. And finally, the young man told him, he said, "Get that thing out of the way." He said, "Just get out of the way." He reached up there and he grabbed that root ball. I think there was 4 or 5 root balls on that truck. He reached up there and bear hugged that root ball and turned around and asked the foreman, he said, "Where do you want them?" And that rascal carried them to the hole where they had the hole dug, where the dingo was going to sit them beside the hole. That's how strong this rascal was. He was just a mountain of a man. And but that story right there tell you kind of how big this young man was. Well, we was over there grading it on a project up on the north end of the county, and it was on a Friday. I think we had 2 crews up there trying to get this project done. This lady was trying to move in her house. It was a new construction house, real high-end house. Well, down in the bottom of the back of the lot had a pretty good sized creek that run through there, and it was kind of grown up. Well, they had contracted to sow down to the creek, but she actually owned to the other side of the creek, and she'd come out there and say, "Hey, you know, can we just go on over there and clean up the whole creek bed and get it seeded and straw? You know, while we're here, might as well do it." Well, we had to kind of jump through some hoops and get a salesperson involved to come out, you know, get all the paperwork stuff figured out. But it happened pretty quick. So they kind of facilitated this thing to get this little project done that afternoon. And the big man, they loaded him up with some more straw and some more stuff and sent him over there. Well, but about the time he pulled up, we was cleaning the other side of that creek bed up, and we run out a snake, pretty good sized snake. And at the time, I thought it was a copperhead. It was I don't know, probably 3.5 foot long, about as big around as a 16-ounce drink bottle. And you see a snake like that, it just kind of makes your skin crawl, because them old copperheads are pretty bad around here, and they're mean. But where I'm going with this, the guys that was on the crew, and they wasn't scared of it. They just, one of the guys just run up there and he just picked it up by the tail and had it held out, and had that thing held out, was messing with it, and I was trying to tell him to put it down because I thought it was a copperhead, but come to find out it was a corn snake. I'd never seen a corn snake before. Down where I'm from, about 2 counties over, I'd never seen a corn snake. But anyway, he acted like he was going to throw that snake in there on me. I was in the skid steer, and he acted like he was going to throw that snake in there on me. Well, about the time all this was going on, and I got a little bit loud, said some things I shouldn't have said, because I'm not too fond of snakes, and I was sitting in that cage, and he was acting a fool, going to throw that snake in there on me. And I got loud, and they was laughing, the whole crew was laughing, you know. But the big man, he heard it. He was up there kind of getting his truck situated, and he got out of the truck, and he heard the commotion down there. And me and him pretty good buddies. Well, he looked down there and see what was going on, and he seen that guy had that snake, and he's act like he's gonna throw him in there on that cab. Well, I looked up, and that joker come down across that yard, and I mean, it looked like a raging bull coming down across that yard. And he said some things to make a sailor blush. I ain't kidding you, talking to that fellow with that snake. And about the time he got about 20 feet from that guy threw that snake down on the ground. Well, the first thing the snake did is curled up in the defensive position. He curled up ready to strike. And the guys, they was all around him, and that snake was looking at probably about 5 or 6 guys standing around laughing, and then a big bull raging towards him. But a big man come down there, and he walked up on that snake, and I kid you not, I was sitting in that skid steer, I kid you not, he took about a size 14 boot. And he walked up on that snake, and he took his heel of that boot, and he mashed that snake in the ground. That snake never knew what hit him. And I said, big man, I said, you are crazy. I said, you're crazy, buddy. I said, you know, I said, that might have been a copperhead. I said, that thing could have bit you. I said, it would have been a bad day. He said, not today. Not today, buddy. He said, not today. He said, I got you. And he killed that snake, and I tell you, I've never forgot that. That's been about 15 years ago, and I've never forgot that. Every time I see a snake, I think about that big man walking up on that curled up snake. And you know how quick snakes are, but that snake never had a chance. And I think back of all the tractor tires that I've run over snakes, and it's not killed them. And I've run over them in the road, and they just wiggle. But he stomped, and he mushed that snake in the ground, the head of that snake in the ground, and that snake was dead. It crushed his head. But that was a mountain of a man, buddy, a young man. I have no idea where he's at today. I'd like to see him. That's been about 15, 16 years ago, I guess. But that's a story that just keeps coming back. Like I said, I don't know you guys like these stories or not, but if you got a story like that, comment on the YouTube. I'm gonna try to get White go through this thing, see if he can put this on the big screen. And somebody might get a kick out of this. But if y'all got a similar story, y'all put it up there. I'd like to hear it. I'm gonna sign on out now. See if we can get over here and get these trees down. A little cold this morning, but the sun's shining. It's not raining. We've had 2 or 3 days of beautiful weather. The ground's just about to get ready where we can do some dirt work. It's been so nasty and sloppy the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's just been nasty. I'm gonna check out here now. Y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you a little bit later.